Hi everyone. This month's masterclass is on hand reflexology and self-care. It's sort of, yes, I wanted to give you these tips and thank you for all the feedback with the extra ones that you were asking for that's needed at the moment. I want to give you these especially because some of us are in lockdown and unable to go to treatments and everything, and it's just generally really good for us to know these. And even if you've done it before with me, because I know some of you have, it's good to remind yourself, because when we're sitting around either at our desks or we're watching TV or whatever we're doing, or even if we are somewhere out, you can use these to help you, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling stressed and a little anxious. So there's lots of great tips, that you can work on your hand. And the great thing is when you're doing it on your hand, and I know I'm holding my hand up at the moment, that if you're doing it in your lap, under your desk, or on the TV, or when you're watching TV, sorry, or if you're just out, you can do it quite discreetly, and you're doing this and your hand's down in your lap. Nobody realizes what you're doing, but on this side, you're pointing on somewhere that's helping you. So actual hand reflexology for yourself can be really, really discreet. Even if it's like your stomach is, or your intestines are not working and you need to sort of digest something through, you can work on that and still be sitting away, doing what you're doing at work without it being a big thing. So let me just share my screen. So here we go. Excuse me. That's a good job. I'm going to be working on my hands, isn't it? So yeah, so we got hand reflexology. Then we're going to have the main part of it that I'm going to be showing you with the map and everything is to release tension and relax. I have got the extra ones. So the neck and shoulders were already in there that some of you have asked for. I know some of you needed some sinus problems. And so I was going to show you that on how to release the sinuses and all through the tubes. And also I'm going to put some extra in and do the immune system with everything that's going around at the moment. One, because it's winter and a lot more is going around. And just with generally with the whole, COVID, we want to stay strong and healthy. So like I said, it's really good to be doing when you're around, and to do this regularly. And after a while, you'll just realize that you're doing it. So you'll be sitting there and working away at it. So if you can do this sort of, couple of times a week, especially when something's hurting, you can do it a lot more than that. You can do it a couple of times a day or more. You can do it as much as you need. You're going to then just constantly be keeping everything under control. And that's what this whole Live Better, Feel Better group is about. It's about doing things that we put into our lives to help us. So like I said, we're going to go through and we're going to do head, neck and shoulders to release tension. I will also add in the back to help with that. I'm going to give you some points on just to do relaxing with stress and anxiety. And also we're going to boost our energy and our immune system. Excuse me. I'm going to start working on that part. So yeah, we're going to go away at the end of this, just feeling more relaxed when you finish this video, and have a lot more energy by the end of it, just by doing a few points on your hands. So there you go. There's the hand, and that's just breaking down some of the points. A few of you, well, most of you have been clients of mine, so I've probably described what I see when I look at the feet, and it's the same on the hand. You've got the thumb and the big toe is our head, and then running down the side is the back, And then so over on this side is the shoulders. So to work on these points, you're going to be able to then work on all the tension in the neck and the shoulders as you're pushing on these points. Then the rest of the body is then the intestines and everything is in the palm of the hand. So that's just a basic section of breaking it down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this picture away for a minute and just go back to me so you can actually really see the hand that I'm working on. So to start with, I'm just going to put a bit of cream on. We're just going to cream over the hand a bit, because if we don't put anything on, you start to burn the skin on skin. So if you've got a little bit, you don't need a lot. I mean, you can add more if you need it. But if you just sort of, so it's a bit tacky, then you've got something and it slides a little bit. You don't want to be too slidey. Oil you can use, but it does really start to, you know, you slide more than actually working on the point. So, well, to start with, I want us just to take a few deep breaths. But while we're doing that, I want us to work on the solar plexus, which is by the diaphragm, which is under the lower knuckle part. So if I'm bending, that's about here in the center. If you put your thumb on it, slightly rocking. So as you take a deep breath in, you're just going to push on your solar plexus. So rub it around a bit and then release. Then swap hands and take another deep breath and push on the same point on the other hand. So take a deep breath in and push in and release. The solar plexus is where we hold all our stress. It's the part under your rib cage, in between as the rib cage goes up. And if you are quite tense or stressed, that part will be quite knotted, and when you push on it, it's very painful and you can feel a bit sick. That's why sometimes when we're stressed in that, we don't want to eat, because we're feeling so sick. So just taking a deep breath and rubbing that point just helps us to take a breath and calm down. Also, you can rock while your thumb's on it, and you'll feel the difference. Your thumb then goes in a little bit more and it releases that area. So on the map, when I show you again in a minute, this is the yellow part, the yellow dot. And running across here under the knuckles is the diaphragm. So this helps release the bottom of the diaphragm when that's all tensed up, the solar plexus. So you just work your way across. You can just slightly push. If you go too fast, you don't really get any grip. So just push. For reflexology, we call finger walking. So we do this action. But if you just gently push, or you can push quite hard if you want to. And you don't have to have your hands up, just have them in your lap and work across. Always work both sides. Otherwise, you only work half the body, because the right hand is the right side of the body, the left hand is the left hand of the body. Otherwise, you'll just relax one side and you'll walk around like this. Not literally, but you'll feel more like this. So just go across the diaphragm. This one's good to do in the day, especially when you're at work or something, or there's a lot going on. You go across the diaphragm and in the center with the solar plexus. Like I said, you can rock by laying your thumb across and rocking. And if you're feeling really stressed or anxious, or even feel that you're having a panic attack or something, the deep breaths in and rocking and going across will just help you breathe through it. And as the diaphragm relaxes, you're able to take a deep breath. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just click back to the picture so you can get to see what we was talking about. So you've got the yellow part across the bottom under the knuckles, and the solar plexus is here. And in between the two pointy finger and the next finger along. So if you come down the two, it's around there. Anywhere along there, you'll feel it. Mine feels tight, and that's because I've been doing the Adrian 30-day challenge yoga, and she had me doing crunches yesterday morning. So mine is nice and tender all along there. So then we're going to go on to the shoulders and the neck and head to help release all around there. So as you can see, the shoulders is the blue area here, just under the little finger. The neck is down each side of the thumb. And then the head is the pad of the thumb. The outside of the thumb, so along here, is the spine part of the neck, because the spine carries on all the way down to the lump we have on the bottom, which is the coccyx area. The inside of the thumb, so you can see on here, on this area, is the muscles of the neck. We're also going to turn over and work on the other side of the shoulder as well, around this side of the neck. I'm going to go back to me. There we go. So let's start with working on the shoulder, because most of us have tightness in our shoulders. As you can see, it was a blue area and it curved like the shoulder blade. So coming around is all the edge of the shoulder blade. Going over this way is then all across the shoulder. So you just work over this. You might feel crunchy if it's quite tight. If it's really, really tight, you won't feel anything because it's so tight, and it will just need working on till you break down. So you just work over this area, and you can work out. On the outside bit is then sort of over the shoulder and into the arm. So if you're getting tightness down the neck and down, work around the side part. And then what happens as well, sometimes the back of the shoulders are so tight because the front and your actual shoulders have rolled. So if we're at a desk or we're leaning over doing things a lot, this tightens in. So instead of the shoulders being back, they've rolled in. So then the muscles along the chest area has tightened. So we want to release all around here and all up in the lymph nodes. So you come round to the top part of the hand and you mimic the same again. If it's tender as you go down this part in between the two fingers, that's the inside of the armpit. and all the lymph nodes in there, so that can be tender. And then you work all around here, releasing the front part of the shoulders. So as you do, you can work both. You can use knuckles if you want to. So I've just hooked my thumb there and then gone down. Work both sides. Down this, across this part, around the blade, shoulder blade, round the side, and then round the front. You can push as hard or be as gentle as you want. I'm going to put a bit more cream on because it's drying out. And then we're going to go to the neck. So it's this area here and then around this side as well. So we've got there and there. So we just work up and down the side there. And then on this side as well. And then we're going to work up to the head, which was the pad. Generally, the neck and the shoulders are tight. The head starts to get tight. Top, right at the top, is the brain. If you've got a lot going on, that's usually quite tight. So just up and down the thumb. And then we're going to do the other side. So work on the outside, which is the actual spine. Sorry. And then on the inside of the thumb, which is the muscle. And you can work around the front as well. You can go down if that's easier. And it just releases all around the neck. And then up over the pad on this side. And then what we're going to do is follow from the neck, but carry on down here, which isn't actually marked on the map. If you carry on down, and then this part is the lower back where the dip is, and that can generally be quite painful. And then around to the coccyx area if you're tight down in the lower part for sitting a lot. And up, this is the mid back. So you can go up and down. Sometimes this is quite tight on a lot of people. Give that a good massage. With any of these, the head or this part or even the neck, you can also, you won't be able to see it for what I'm doing, but say this is your desk, you can rub against your desk or a table or the kitchen worktop. You can rub on that. So any hard surface you can work on. You just scrape along. And that sometimes give it a nice good release. Mine's really crunchy around here. One from doing the reflexology And 2, I have tightness all around that area from doing the reflexology. So I have to do this quite regularly in the evenings, re-stretch my hands out. So that's your back all down here. The next one we're going to do is going to boost your energy. So would it boost the energy or it will relax you? So if you're quite stressed, we also want to work this point because the adrenals would be all knotted and tightened up when we're in the fight or flight mode. If you're just feeling really, really tired, you're hitting that point in the afternoon when it's coming to that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and you're really wanting another coffee and some chocolate and a biscuit and all that stuff because you're fading and already ready for bed. You can work on this area. You can always work on this in the morning when you're waking up feeling not too good either. So if you've got your thumb and your pointing finger, if you slide down where it hits between the two, about here is your adrenals. Some people it's quite painful, or it can be just quite knotted and tight. If your thumb's going in a lot, it means you're really, really tired. If you feel it's like more of a knot there, you need to rub it to break it down. If it's dipping in, just keep rubbing as well, and then it will start coming up. You need something in between, but generally it can be quite painful. Because it's one of the gland points, so they always are when you're working them. So you can massage that. You can hook in, oops, that way. And then work it on this side as well. Coming down and into here. That one's a good one to work on. You just work away. Also just rub over the palm of the hand. It always just feels good. Just work your way up through all of it. So now, just by doing that, you've worked on all your organs on that side of the body. And if you do the same on this one, so you've worked on your intestines, so your colon, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, your bladder, pancreas, your gallbladder. So partly you've done some of the immune system by working all over. So just by putting some cream on your hands and massaging the whole thing, you're giving your body a good boost. But I want to make that boost a little bit stronger. So just under from where we were doing the shoulder, under the diaphragm area, just down a bit on the padded bit here, you've got your liver and your spleen. So one's one side and then the other. work your liver and your spleen on each side, which is part of our immune system. We work back over the adrenals because they all work together. And then from the adrenal part, I want you to follow the line, the crease. You're going to go down, and as you go down, you work over the kidneys. And then down into the bladder. So follow that line across the crease all the way down. So you're working through the kidneys and the bladder. That's detoxing that out and boosting it. So it doesn't matter if you've got a low immune system or your immune system's on overload. By doing this, you're going to help balance it out. Okay, are you feeling good? Okay, so the last part we're going to do today is the sinuses. This is good for generally all the colds and everything that's going to be coming up, and it's also good if you do get COVID, because it obviously goes on the chest and it's all around this area. So I'm going to show you all those points to keep all this strong and to keep it going, and just generally to get us through the winter. So there's a few different parts of the sinuses. We've got the finger pads. They're the sinus area. You can work on them. And the reason we work on all of them, I know it's this main part, and there's 4 here, but I can't guarantee which one's blocked. So you work on all of them. And again, you can use that on the top of the desk or the table if you're finding something's quite crunchy, and just rub yourself down. You can also come down and up the fingers. So it depends how you're holding them. If you're holding, you can go this way, or you can come up. Just up and down is good. And then just under the fingers, along the top part here, it goes your ears, eyes, and then to the sinus, and it's all the tubes. So this gets quite blocked, which then causes headaches around the eyes and the blocked ears. So if you walk along here, you clear out all this part. So we're walking along here. And then working the pads on this side and down the fingers. And then the lung area is actually the knuckle bit on the bottom. So you're gonna, which we'd already done when we've gone over the whole palm, but we're just gonna work. So it's between the diaphragm and the sinus area, all along here. There's lungs and heart all along here. And even if you don't have any of these problems, it's just nice to work on the hands and just release them. Hands and feet is the things that we use all the time, but they rarely pamper ourselves with. So just a quick recap. We've got the head, the neck, and the shoulders, diaphragm and the solar plexus. Coming down here into the point is the adrenals. The point in the pad part, in between the two, coming down, is the liver and spleen on each side. And then running round from the adrenals down into the back part is the kidneys into the bladder. So I'll just take you back to the map so you've got an idea again. Head, neck, following it all the way down is the back. You've got your shoulders, the diaphragm across the yellow, and the dot in the middle is the solar plexus. Coming down from the finger and thumb is the adrenal. And then from the adrenal right down into the sort of dip in the lower part of the hand is the kidneys coming down into the bladder. The tops of the fingertips are the sinus area. Under the fingers is the sinus tubes. And then from underneath the pointed finger all the way along here to the shoulder area is the lung and the heart. And just down from the shoulder, just around about here, you can see the arrow, is the liver and spleen for our immune system. So I hope you have taken that all in. If there's any questions after you've watched the video, please put them in the comment underneath and I will get back to you and run through anything. So also I'm thinking of running a online reflexology course. So if anyone's interested, please let me know. We will have a few sessions and we will actually teach you to do on yourself as well as on the rest of your family, working on the feet and the hands, and everything will get broken down into more sections. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And also if you have any more questions about the workshop today, again, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you thought and if you got any benefit from it. Really enjoy your feedback and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.